Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff. The case of Anna Kepner. I mean, why we are so impatient right now. There has been a murder committed at sea on the Carnival Horizon cruise ship on November 7th, 2025. More than a month has gone by. The jurisdiction, as we know, because it was in international waters, is the FBI's call. It's the FBI's case. What the hell is going on right now? Clearly, the 16-year-old stepbrother has been named as a suspect in this case. Why? I will ask and ask again and again and again. Why has he not been arrested? That's what we all want to know. Why has the FBI not told us virtually anything about this investigation of this case? Yet we are finding out about it from a family court case. And the cast of characters in this case will baffle most because you need a scorecard, right? And we know from looking at the family picture, uh, here they were. There was a total of 9 family members in this blended family on this cruise ship, including the biological grandparents. So there's 7 there, and 2 more with the grandparents were part of this cruise. And you can see Anna Kepner in this thumbnail up on the screen. She is the murdered party. She was murdered. And it has already been determined by the medical examiner in Miami, the Florida medical examiner, that the manner of death was homicide. The cause of death was asphyxia, manual asphyxia from an arm bar across the neck of Anna Kepner, a vibrant 18-year-old girl who was staying in the same room with her 14-year-old blood brother and her 16-year-old stepbrother. And therein lies, in my opinion, a big, big problem. And across the way, on the same floor there, was Chantel Hudson and Christopher Kepner, the biological father of Anna. But yet there was no supervision. They were right across the hall, yet no one knew or checked on Anna. Big surprise that she was found the next day, 11/7, at 11:17 a.m. hours. She was found dead. On the morning of Friday, November 7th, a housekeeper aboard the Carnival Horizon made a shocking discovery. Inside the cabin Anna shared with her step siblings, her body was found under a bed wrapped in a blanket. And when the ship docked in Port Miami the next day, it was immediately met by federal agents. The FBI formally took over the investigation. But after their initial statement confirming an investigation was underway, the Bureau shared very little information. No cause of death initially was released. No persons of interest were named. No details about what happened in that cabin were shared with the public, or even for a time with Anna's grieving family. This official silence created a vacuum of information, fueling frustration and speculation. A young woman was dead under suspicious circumstances on a crowded cruise ship, and the lead investigators were declining to comment, citing policy for ongoing cases. Her father, Christopher Kepner, told reporters, "The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I know as little as everybody else." The family and the public were left in the dark. It seemed like the truth of what happened to Anna Kepner was locked behind the wall of federal procedure, but the truth had another way of getting out. Anyone else here disturbed by this? You know, folks, if you're not subscribed, we're Police Off the Cup. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share us. It helps our algorithm, make lots of comments. And if you want to contribute financially, we have a Patreon with 4 different levels. We have a YouTube channel membership with 5 different levels, and you become part of the Police Off the Cuff YouTube family. So, folks, hold on to your hats, hold on to your loved ones, hold on to your wig, hold on to your service dog. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the off the cuff zone. The police off the cuff zone.
There has to be some common sense.
They were the ones who called 911 to get him help, and now they're calling for change.
You know, the silence from the criminal investigation was deafening, but in Brevard County Family Court, the case was about to explode. The secrets the FBI wouldn't share were laid bare in the most unlikely of places. A contentious and unrelated custody dispute. This was between Chantel Hudson and her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson. So the battle was between, again, Anna's stepmother, Chantel Hudson Kepner, and her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson, the biological father of the 16-year-old stepbrother who shared a cabin with Anna. Court filings from their dispute became a very key source of information, revealing shocking details about Anna's death. The first bombshell was the cause of death. While the medical examiner's office remained tight-lipped, a copy of Anna's death certificate was provided by her family to ABC News. It confirmed their worst fears, stating that she died from mechanical asphyxia and was mechanically asphyxiated by other persons. This wasn't an accident or a medical issue. This was, according to the document, a homicide. After all, homicide means death caused by another. And in this instance, the other is an uncharged 16-year-old stepbrother with the initials TH. Everyone knows what his real name is. He is the biological son of Chantel Hudson and her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson. So there's no big surprises here. What is really bothering everyone here is, why have there been no charges filed? Why was the life of this 18-year-old beautiful girl taken, and it's been told by the medical examiner's office that the manner of death is homicide, death caused by another. The cause of death is mechanical asphyxia, a fancy medical terms for strangulation. So there is probable cause somewhere, isn't there? And I think that the FBI knows this, and everyone seems to know this, but why has there not been an arrest yet? And that is what is baffling to me. Is it because the FBI doesn't want to charge a 16-year-old? Are they hiding behind the fact that he's a juvenile? Surely in state court, for these charges, this juvenile, age 16, could be charged as an adult. I am not versed enough in international law to know if that would be true on the international level. And the federal courts, what is their policy in prosecuting a 16-year-old, a minor, by federal statute? What is their policy in prosecuting a case like that for the murder of an 18-year-old girl? These are some of the questions that we all have, but we are all growing a little bit impatient with this. An 18-year-old girl loses her life at sea. Over a month goes by, and even though there is a suspect named by family court, not by the FBI, he has yet to be arrested. Why? And is the public, never mind the family, the Kepner family and the Hudson family, is he a danger to himself and others being free? That's the question I would have. And why isn't the FBI worried about that? If he is in fact a suspect, I'm sure they have all kinds of paperwork that they've done in regards to this case, naming him as a suspect. Why are they not nervous that he's out, staying with a family who we don't know? We don't know the name of the family members that took him in. Could someone in that family be in danger by the 16-year-old who is yet to be charged for a murder that we are told there is probable cause to arrest him for? Does that disturb anyone else here? I'd like to hear what you think in the chat. because it disturbs me. This is Ashley Banfield talking about this case.
Oh boy. And then the 9-year-old. And he wanted custody. Well, I think it's fair to say, given what happened at sea, yeah, one of the kids is dead, right? Mr. Hudson claimed, look, my 9-year-old daughter is not safe with this new blended family. There's been death, you know? The new blended family would be Anna's birth mom, Chantel, and Chantel's new husband, Chris Kepner, and Kepner's 3 kids, one of whom Anna was the eldest, okay? It came out in court that the 16-year-old, who is still not in custody, is now expected to face charges in this incident. But it isn't clear whether these are going to be federal charges or whether they're going to be state charges. In any case, Chantel...
You know, I don't care whether they are federal or state. I want him charged. If they have probable cause to arrest him, don't drag your feet. Charge him, whether it's in federal court or whether it's in state court. He needs to be charged. Why are we holding out for over a month? I'm uncomfortable with that, extremely uncomfortable with it.
Chantel told the judge, that's mom, right? Told the judge that her child, the suspect, the 16-year-old boy, won't be living in the Kepner household anymore. Could you imagine saying that about your 16-year-old boy, if you have one, or ever are planning to have one? It's a very strident statement if you say, my 16-year-old boy won't be living in the Kepner household anymore. Already he's been staying with a relative, right, ever since that cruise ended. But the Daily Mail is reporting that the mom also defended her decision to let her stepdaughter, Anna, the deceased, share a cabin with the 2 male siblings. She said that she and her husband, Chris, were staying right across the hall. But she also admitted that they never checked on the kids after everybody returned to their cabins on November the 6th. Now, don't forget, there's an 18-year-old, there's a 14-year-old, there's a 16-year-old. So, you know, Anna's 18. I'm not so sure as a mom, I might have checked on them either. You got an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old. I'm sure they're going to be okay. They're in the good hands you'd think of the 18-year-old. But the mom also admitted that her 16-year-old...
You know, I'm going to have to disagree with Ashley Banfield here. So you have a 14-year-old who is the blood brother of the 18-year-old. You have a 16-year-old, the stepbrother of the 18-year-old, an 18-year-old who is attractive and very attractive to a 16-year-old stepbrother who is, in fact, infatuated with her. That is a problem I have, them staying in the same quarters. And whether it was across the hall from the parents or not, I have a problem with that. And didn't the parents see that there possibly could have been a inappropriate attraction from the 16-year-old stepbrother to the 18-year-old stepsister, meaning Anna Kepner? Didn't they notice that? Weren't they concerned with that? I mean, it's easy. We all know what happened, but apparently there were signs that there was an inappropriate attraction. And in fact, one of the things that the autopsy told us, there was no signs of SA in regards to Anna Kepner's body. However, as I have said on previous episodes of the Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories show covering the Anna Kepner case, how do we know there was not an attempted SA that left no evidence? But in essence, there were bruises on both sides of the neck. And that's one of the ways they were able to determine that there was manual asphyxia. But there had been reports that the 16-year-old had made several inappropriate advances towards the 18-year-old. So I'm not convinced that that wasn't the big issue here.
Old suspect's son had skipped 2 doses of an ADHD medication and insomnia medication prior to Anna's death. Despite all of that, the judge found no evidence that the little 9-year-old girl, the one being fought over in the custody hearing, judge said she's in no imminent danger. Thus, we're imminent danger. And so the little girl's going to be staying with mom and stepdad, Chantel and Chris. But Chantel and her ex-husband, Thomas, have that 3rd child, the 18-year-old boy. His name is Andrew. I know it's a lot to follow, but bear with me. So the 18-year-old, the Daily Mail says, was dead set against moving in with mom and her new husband, Chris, at the Kepner residence. I do not want to be part of that Kepner crew in his mind, right? So dead set against it that he tried apparently to jump out of the family's moving vehicle on the way there. 18 years old, and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to that house. Out I go, moving car. He told the family court, are you ready, that he did not succeed in getting away because Mom Chantel and Chris stopped him. So Mom Chantel and stepdad Chris stopped him. And wait for it. He said, quote, this is amazing. It doesn't bode well for the case. I was put in a chokehold and held against the seat. They held me against the seat until I couldn't fight back anymore. End quote. Did you see that there? Did you see what he said there in court? Did you see? I was put in a choke hold. A choke hold.
I find that to be a lot bit disturbing. So the parents put him in a chokehold. Is that where the 16-year-old learned how to perform a chokehold? Is that where he was taught that? Was this commonly used? So, and then we're finding out the 16-year-old stepbrother is on ADHD medication. Could he also have a mental illness? And I'm not equating ADHD with mental illness, but is in addition to, because is that sort of the defense that Chantel Hudson was trying to use, that he missed 2 dosages of his ADHD medication? I wonder, is that what she's trying to say? Is she trying to develop a defense? So this custody battle it's intensified, right? The filings began to connect the dots between the family's dysfunction and Anna's death. The court became a proxy for the criminal investigation, a place where attorneys for the warring parents used details from the FBI's inquiry as weapons against each other. In one filing, the stepmother Chantel acknowledged a criminal case may be initiated against one of the minor children and stated her intention to invoke her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, fearing her testimony could be prejudicial to herself or her son. The father, Thomas Hudson, and that's the biological father, argued in his own motion that his ex-wife's choices had put their son's future in jeopardy. The family was fracturing under the weight of this investigation. The court learned upon returning from the cruise, the 16-year-old stepbrother was hospitalized for observation. Was that maybe to avoid law enforcement? According to an interview with Anna's grandmother, the boy was an emotional mess and couldn't believe what had happened. In a move that spoke volumes, the court was informed that the teen was no longer living in the family home. He had been sent to live with other relatives. A decision made to remove any potential risk to the other children in the house. In early December 2025, a judge ruled on an emergency motion filed by the boy's father. The judge decided that the younger children, which they just said on Banfield, were in no imminent danger. I don't know. I don't like any of this, folks. So, folks, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit that like thumbs up. And now a word from our sponsor. FanDuel's got an offer you don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. The only question is, are you ready to play? You must be 21 years or older and present in select states for Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbookfanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE New York, or text Hope New York in New York. Folks, this is an update from Court TV on regards to the Anna Kepner case.
Dreams of joining the U.S. Navy and a future she'd worked so hard for, Anna seemed unstoppable. But on November 7th, tragedy struck. Her body was discovered concealed under her bed, wrapped in a blanket and covered with life vests, sending waves of shock through her tight-knit community. The FBI has launched a full investigation, scouring the ship's surveillance video, swipe card logs, and interviewing family members, including her own 16-year-old stepbrother, who's been named a suspect during an unrelated court hearing. As the world grieves, Anna's story has become a haunting riddle. What happened in that cabin, and who is responsible? This is a family tragedy, but it's also now being investigated as a homicide. So it goes beyond the family, but everything about it is about this blended family.
After the incident, she described the 3 kids who stayed in the same room. That would be Anna, the 16-year-old stepbrother, as the suspect, and one of Anna's younger stepbrothers. She said the 3 kids in the room on the cruise ship were described as best friends and the 3 amigos. Take a listen.
Anna, who we know passed away, she was 18, correct?
Correct.
And she was an adult?
Correct.
And was she given the option of staying in another room?
All 3 of the kids were.
Okay. And would that room have been with Grandma and Grandpa?
Correct.
And they didn't want to do that?
No, they wanted to stay together.
Did they all get along?
Yeah, the 3 of them are like the 3 amigos. They're best friends.
Now, Vinny, Anna's grandmother, her biological grandmother, a woman named Barbara Kepner, she echoed that same sentiment in an interview with ABC News. Now, one of our producers voiced some of the comments that Barbara made to ABC News. Take a listen to this.
He was an emotional mess. He couldn't even speak. He couldn't believe what had happened. They were just like brother and sister. They were 2 peas in a pod. I know that those 2 kids cared about each other in the right way. I can't accuse him because I don't know what happened in that room.
So, Vinny, these are 2 family members talking about the relationship between Anna and her 16-year-old stepbrother. But take a listen to Anna's ex-boyfriend, who says otherwise surrounding that relationship. Take a listen.
From what you know, what do you think happened in the room?
I think that he walked in there and basically he walked in there and tried to get on top of her and tried to do a sexual thing with her, but he got caught by me in the process. Yeah, and she got scared of it and wanted to go sleep over with friends, and whenever she could at mine, but she never could because her stepmom was there.
So what this boyfriend is basically telling a story about on a previous occasion, how the 16-year-old had attempted to SA Anna Kepner. And that's coming out here. So did the parents, did Chantel and Christopher not see this coming? Did they not see that potentially it wasn't a good idea to put a 16-year-old male in the same room with a 18-year-old female who is his stepsister, not his biological sister? Did that make a lot of sense? I think not. I think there has to be a lot of questions. There has to be a lot of investigation. Look, the FBI knows lots of things that none of us know right now. In fact, we had, in a previous episode, we had talked about how no doubt the FBI interviewed the 16-year-old in the presence of parent, probably Chantel, and what we've learned since then is that the grandparents were also there, because to interview a juvenile, and if he is in fact a suspect and you have probable cause, then you must read, and he must, in this case, waive Miranda, and so must a parent or legal guardian must also waive the Miranda rights. So the FBI knows all of these things. And what was the results? What did the FBI garner from this interview with the 16-year-old? What, he didn't tell anything. Even if he didn't say anything, if he was a basket case and was admitting to nothing, that's saying something too. And the way that Anna's body was hidden under the bed and covered with blankets and life preservers, that shows that the person that did this felt guilty about what they had done and tried to cover it up. And so that speaks volumes for itself also, that he, the 16-year-old boy, tried to cover it up. So as of today, the FBI, again, still hasn't filed any charges and has not officially named the suspect. We're finding about the suspect from the family court case. The investigation remains open and ongoing. Yet, thanks to a trove of public but hidden family court documents, a chilling narrative has emerged. We have a death certificate that calls Anna Kepner's death a homicide by mechanical asphyxia. We have sworn court filings from a mother and a father, both identifying their own 6-year-old son as a suspect in the death of Anna. And we have a family so broken that the boy at the center of it all is living with relatives while his parents fight over what remains. The official story is silence, but the unofficial story, written in the angry and desperate language of legal motions, it screams. It tells a tale of a family vacation that ended in a nightmare, and of dark secrets that could no longer be contained within the four walls of a home or even a cruise ship cabin. While we wait for the FBI to conclude its work, the family court has already told us where to look. This is a bizarre and tragic case where a civil dispute is providing more answers than a federal criminal investigation. What do you make of all of this? Does the family court drama paint a clear picture for you? Or does it just raise more questions? Share your thoughts in the comments. And share this video so that Anna Kepner's story stays in the light where it belongs. So, again, we are more than a month. This happened on November 7th, 2025. It is now December 10th, 2025. There is a suspect. They have probable cause. No one has been arrested yet. I think we are all a little bit disturbed by that fact. Does the FBI consider that the person they're leaving out there, in fact, if they do have probable cause, could be a danger to himself and others? Doesn't the law protect other citizens through an arrest, even if this person is a juvenile? Because this juvenile, if they have probable cause to accuse him of this crime, this juvenile committed a murder. Again, he's innocent till proven guilty, but we, those following and those presenting facts and circumstances of this case, we want to know. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. Have a great day, everyone. God bless.
One episode just ain't enough.